Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Rao again. I was working on a project where I was teaching people my ideas about flow and how to get to into flow. Very nice. Don't make noise. So I thought I will come and share. I'm going to put this in a newsletter very soon. But meanwhile, I thought I will come and talk with my friends. So I will give some pointers that I do that is working for me, but you can always come and tell me how you do it, and you can share, and maybe we'll come out with some conclusions. First of all, how I start is the day is very important. Just asking questions like um, see one or two purposeful goals. Okay, the first question I put myself is, what is the most important impact I can have today? Impact, okay? And then the other thing is, how does this align with my larger goals or larger values? Okay, that's based on what we call dharma in ancient wisdom, where they say, what is right for everybody, you try to do it, not uh, what is uh, really good for you. Okay, and then I kind of design a pro-friendly environment around me. I have my minimal things that I need, and as much as possible, not clutter, right? That's second thing. And then I focus one task at a time, single task, right? Um, it's always like that, I don't want multitasking or thinking multiple things. That's definitely a mistake. If you want to be in flow, you want to be uh, more like how you want to go with ease and enjoy what you're doing. At the end of the day, you're not really stressed out. That's a flow for me. And then during the day, I take so many breaks to sustain my energy, especially, you can use modern techniques like Pomodoro technique, where you say, I'm going to do focus burst, maybe 25 minutes, if you can afford it in the work. Sometimes you have restrictions, but if you are your own boss, these are the beautiful things you can do. And then I'm always my own boss, so I don't have to really bend to anybody else's rules and regulations. That's a luxury I have, but then we can create within our limitations. And then the fifth thing I want to do is, I want to be always in the present moment awareness. That's something given, right? And the sixth one is, whenever the challenges come, I take them as growth opportunities. Okay, that way I don't spend time about doing resentment or complaining and all that. That's all nonsense for me. And then after the day has ended, what I do is I reflect, and then with gratitude. So those are the 7 steps that I do, that you could understand. So see, living in flow is not about perfection. Okay, it's about creating intentional practices that are fostering focus, resilience, and alignment. See, when I approach with this purpose, designing supportive routines and maintaining a growth mindset, I found that flow becomes more than just a occasional experience. It becomes the way of living. So each day it brings a renewed sense of fulfillment and meaning as I align my work with my core values and cultivate a work life rhythm that's both productive and deeply rewarding. Okay, I put this all in my newsletter, and I'm going to put it there this afternoon. I just wrote it. Then I thought I would talk some of these things with you guys. That's why I came up. Anybody wants to come and share as to how you going to flow? Peter, good morning. Cecilia and Jessica, Eugene Lee, Cassandra. So you're welcome to come and tell me how you approach this way. So I can take a sip of coffee that my wife brought it here. I don't usually drink coffee habitually, but once in a while, when we have South Indian breakfast, that's when we like to have the coffee because that go very well. It's like an intentional again. It is not like a out of habit. And also, I don't take too powerful coffee. It's a very light coffee so that I can sleep. My mind is, as I told you, if I smell that wine, if I smell alcohol anywhere, then I become very, very dizzy, right? Like that, if I drink coffee in the evening time, my sleeping is kind of spoiled. So that is the topic today. I went through very quickly, but starting with a purpose, starting with a purpose, and then designing a flow-friendly environment, and focusing on one task at a time. All these things are very routine for me. That's why years of understanding. See, all this are based on ancient wisdom of what is dharma. I talked about this morning. What is good for everybody, and also manasa vacha karmana. What I think, what I speak, what I do should be aligned with my greater vision of serving the world, right? And then always being in the present moment awareness, and also not being threatened by changes, but kind of take it as growth opportunities. And also at the end of the day, I vacate my mind. I kind of reflect things with gratitude. So these are the 7 steps I described there in that article that you will find. So that's how I do it. I just want to share my experience. How it doesn't mean that you have to do only that way, but based on my core values of serving for the entire world, kind of, right? Or the world. That's what the ancients described. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means we are all under God in one family, right? Rather, we are all one energy. Okay. So don't play politics. Don't separate people. Don't identify that you are better than other people. None of it. They are all us. We are them, right? So that kind of thing. I told you, right? Atma Mokshardham Jagat Hitaya. What does it mean? Human life is for to turn inward with our mind and realize the divinity within us, like with everybody, right? And after you have done that major thing in your life, then you have the abundance within you, and that's why you don't need anything. But if you are to do something, Jagat Hitayacha. Jagat means world. Hitayacha means for the welfare of the world, you work. That's how you live. Not to accumulate your money, not to accumulate experiences, not to have pleasures. You can have that, but don't make it the whole life. That's the point. And then you can have it in between what you are doing, work not. Like I work today. I created something about flow. I created a course. I created a book. I created a coaching program, and then I thought I will come and share some of that with you. But then that's all the intention of how can we improve morale and also productivity and everything in the corporate world. Okay, so that's why I wrote that. So okay, please come up and talk to me. I have only 20 more minutes left here because I have a meeting at 11 o'clock. Here is 10:35. So I can speak to you for 20 minutes more. And then, first of all, how many people really work in flow? How many people really understand and see that happening in their life? Let me know. If you or perpetually in flow and you don't have any problems, well and good. But if you are striving to be in flow, if you are striving to be aligned with whatever you are doing and your goals, a lot of people may not have the choice. Okay, I understand that. The life circumstances, the how they grew, how they have understood life, so many factors are there. That's why I'm making this like a 12-week coaching program where people will see the book, will see the course, and also take them with a one-on-one interview with me every week. And then that way they can develop. This is mainly for the people who are in the corporations that are complaining about this distractions and information overload, burnout, stress, all those people. With those people in mind, I wrote it. But obviously, it is for everybody. Everybody can use whatever they do. Um, See, this is what the secret of the yogis, ancient world. They did not want to swallow too many material pursuits. They minimized that so that they can sit down and turn inward and realize. And their meditation was to self-realization, not the modern way of I want to get better in my body, I want to enjoy more, I want to really get more money, teach other people. This is not it. That's not the purpose of the meditation. Meditation, the more you are worldly, the more you are inward you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But you cannot be really meditative. You may suppress your mind, with a lot of skill and lot of technique and all that. But it will spring up. It is never gone. That's why they talked about annihilation of the dissolution of that kind of worldly mind. Okay, turning it more spiritual and limiting the external experiences to the minimum because they wanted to find out the inner God. But if you are not into that, that's fine. I'm just telling you, as I understood, as the history happened, um, the way ancient used meditation as a tool to realize their inner divinity and also see the divinity in everybody and also realize that all are in oneness. Okay, and that's why they are very harmony, very compassionate, kind, and loving, and all that. And then they have very nice life because they are not bothered by ups and downs of the of whatever happening in the life, and their minds are stable, right? So it all depends upon what your perspective is. Now, as I look at this flow, it's more like a once I introduce this, they can have a more joyful working conditions and really improving the productivity and also really helping their health. Okay, so there's a lot in this flow what I'm talking about. Um, there are books I recommended in the past. I talked about flow a lot, but then this is what I do every day, right? So once you understand what it is to be flow, not in your mind, not in your body and all, you kind of synchronize. Hi, Mark. Thank you. This has become a major project now because there are a lot of corporate people I talk to, leaders especially for the servant leadership and all that. But then they also want productivity from their employees for the factory itself, for the shareholders. In a 3 month thing, if they don't perform, they go down, right? And then they want to be creative all the time, and they want to have this silent mind. Perfectly all right. So I will teach them to really understand what is our mind. How can we make the mind our tool, not our boss, right? That we tend to do that, right? Very easily we do that, and we do that from morning till night, and then we reinforce more of it, which is not good. Okay. So this course and this book and this coaching program is going to be starting probably in a couple of weeks, and I will offer it, and I'll offer it in a webinar too to explain why we are doing it, what is the real inner purpose to make people enjoy their life, enjoy their work, and the life balance that, and also go there and don't do the mistakes which is really tiring you out. For example, multitasking. You are doing multitasking with the greed that I will get more things done. Actually, that is the reverse. If you want both things done energetically and smoothly and in union, focus on one task at a time. Have an agenda, but then when you go to the agenda, when you apply that, try to be in that moment, one task. Okay. I have told you this story before. My friend Rocky, who is a major star on the Instagram, she works a lot to help other people, and then she was always working, always working. She told me her mind never stops; it goes up. Then I showed her one task at a time, how to do it and all that. And then she told me, but ever since I'm doing it, my headaches are gone and my focus is better, and also my energy is better because I'm not expending energy on so many things. You are kind of conflicted. You're kind of giving energy you're spreading yourself too thin when you're doing too many tasks at a time. Do one thing in 1 second, one moment at a time. And then it becomes very like I don't have to make an effort. I just give my attention to whatever I'm doing completely. Like I'm talking to you guys. I give my attention to you, to this talk, to the thing I wanted to convey. I want to tell you how important this flow is. I want to tell you I'm developing resources for you to use them. That's fine. But I also have come to talk about this in the social media. I'm going to put in a newsletter. I'm going to put all sorts of things. But individual conditions change, right? And they differ. In that case, what can we do? So we have to see what their background is, how they can understand this, how they can make changes. And at that time, I want to be there helping them to go through that. And once they mastered what they have to do, what is that they are doing wrong, and then they can change that, then they'll be happy. Like Rocky was happy because she was not feeling that tiredness, that exhaustion that she felt before when she was doing so many things at a time. And she also told me the concentration was better and getting things done more qualitatively. Okay, so quantity also improved because you are very focused on doing it. Look at this. The ancient systems, if you approach, even not very ancient, recent past also, if you go and see anybody who is using their hands and mind, like weaving the basket or preparing a sculpture or really doing some carpentry work, any of those things, you can see whoever is in flow, their work is very quality, beautiful to look at, very functional and all that, so how you manage your mind reflects outside, right? Obviously. But how many people are paying attention to how the mind is understood or managed? Not forcibly. So flow condition is kind of rewards you and also gets things done much better. Okay, last chance. Anybody wants to come and say, oh, this makes sense, don't make sense, or do you guys use it? Anybody can come up, and in the last few minutes, I will let you people tell me how you do it. You do it. I feel this will be a good service to give to modern people whose nerves are frayed, who are having a lot of problems focusing and concentration. They need to take help of the alcohol, smoking, other crutches. I don't think we need that. That's a part of this involved too. And also, they are very much focused on improving the quality of life, quality of their family, quality of their work. Anybody looking for that, I think they should pay attention to what I'm talking about. And many people talk about flow, but then I come from the yoga background too, because that is what yoga is about the mind management, part of that management, you manage your body healthy. Like there are 8 steps, right? First, you have to be moral, you have to be ethical, and then you manage your body to be healthy. Then you manage your energy with the breathing. Then you withdraw your senses and you concentrate your thought, and you go to one thought and stay with one thought and go beyond that thought to end up in that immersion of complete silence. In flow, this happens to some degree where you are focusing on the work, you are doing it, and then everything goes smoothly because you may have to improvise the skill, but once you have mastered what you do, as you are doing it, you don't have to think about it. Okay, the lesser you think, the more you allow your natural flow come through, the better you are. Even Michael Jordan said that when he was he was putting his tongue out whenever he's making a good basketball. I happened to be in Chicago at that time. I was there from 1981 to 1990. Then I went to New York, right? So during that time, all the seasonal games, all the playoffs, we have won 5 champions. I was a Chicago anyway. Even now also, I'm a Bears fan, Cubs fan, and also Bulls fan, right? I'm not a fan of White Sox. Somehow belong to Cubs, right? I used to go to the those playing grounds and then watch the Cubs games too. Not many, just a few of them. I saw a couple of Bears games too with my family and all that. But we used to enjoy it on the TV. So Jordan, he's an example of excellence in a human being, and how he focused, how he went into flow when he's shooting those baskets. All that came because he perfected the technique in the practice, and when he came to the game time, he let it flow through him. And that's why he was not even aware that he's putting the tongue out when he is doing the baskets. Okay, and he beautifully he did everything right. His awareness of body, his awareness of people who are coming to defend him is exceptional. So if you really understand how he developed such a virtuoso in basketball, you will have an example of excellence or flow in action, right? I really get excited when I remember Michael Jordan. I seen him in live playing the game, and I've seen him on the TV, and I've followed his contribution to the game of basketball and what he talked about it. So he was not looking just for individual thing, maybe in the beginning, but then he was not really looking for he wanted 5 champions and all. He did it, but then he gave more value what he could contribute to the game of basketball, how he can enhance the quality, how he enhance the technique of that. Think about that. So here I'm more about the spirituality rather than only achievements, but you don't have to be that. You can be whatever you want to be, right? But then I think I value more for the spiritual love and peace and serenity, all that things that you have within ourselves. And also we don't divide people, we don't separate people, right? Uh, I don't have to play politics. I don't have to separate people for some stupid role or some few gains and money and all that. Actually, they don't mean anything once you really realize that inner bliss, serene, peaceful self. Okay. All right. I think it's getting time for my meeting at 11. Any last chance? Anybody wants to come and say anything? You can come up for 5 minutes, and then I'll leave. I'm going to put the article in my LinkedIn. Look for it and go and look for me, Rahul Kolisu, my handle there. And you will see that article there under my articles, and you can read that. What I talked briefly here, it is a little bit more there in that article. Okay, so and I will do more talks on this flow just to make people get what I'm talking about, and also they can see how they are, and then share information with me. If you are really in flow and you're effortless and you're doing a quality job and you're not building stress and burnout for you. Okay, that's the thing that I always see people who lost interest in their job, or who are looking for escapes into something else, or people who are having trouble because of their not having focus, not handling their bodies and minds and all that. This flow is a byproduct of learning that inner resilience and inner quietude at all. Okay, just talking and not really implementing is not good. Remember what I said. First of all, dharma. Dharma, Dharma. Dharma means what is common good for everybody, everything. You have to check whether what I am doing is going to be resulting in that. Okay, not just my selfish goal. Once you have that aim, then what you have in mind, you speak only that, and what you speak, you do that. Okay, so and then finally, the integrated yoga of action, karma, devotion, bhakti, focus, raja yoga, and really having this info and knowledge. That is knowledge yoga, gnana yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, and gnana yoga. All these are combined in the life every day. That is being in yoga. Yoga saha kuru karmani. Stay in yoga and do anything else. Then you will be in focus. This is the best system that was described even by our people. One, I think, is a Russian guy. I don't. It's very difficult to say his name. He wrote a book called Flow. I would recommend you guys go and dig it up and see it. I have it on my Kindle. That's a very good book. So in that book, he talks about how our attention span can only so many bits of information, and how it kind of gets crowded very easily, and then you will not be able to retain or pay attention if you overload that each moment like that. Modern times are doing that. Modern data, modern I'm an informatician, so I deal with information, so I know how information can be beneficial for us if it is insightful, if it is kind of freeing our mind. But if it is overcrowding the mind, which is happening, and people only glib, talk a lot, but if you ask them, can you have silence in your mind a couple of times a day, they say, oh, it's impossible, because they are training the mind like that. Okay, so three things: dharma, manasa, vacha, karmana, integrated yoga. Okay, we'll talk more about it. It's about time for my meeting. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again. Bye bye. ధరణి ఏదో ఆ ఫైల్ ఎక్కడో పడిపోయావు మా దగ్గర కూడా ఫైల్ కావాలమ్మా సార్ ఆ ఫైల్ కావాలి నాకు